What if I told you that one man's daring ambition reshaped the course of history, rising from humble beginnings to become Egypt's first true pharaoh? Meet Ptolemy I Soter, sometimes called Ptolemy I, the mastermind behind an empire that lasted nearly 300 years. Imagine a world shattered by chaos after Alexander the Great's death, a fractured empire desperate for stability. Into this chaos steps a cunning general, a visionary leader, and a ruthless strategist. But was he just a soldier, or the founding father of a legendary dynasty? Get ready to uncover the secrets behind one of history's greatest comeback stories, where ambition, power, and destiny collide. This is the story of Ptolemy I, the man who forged an empire out of chaos. Let's dive in. History's about to get intense. The death of Alexander and the rise of ambition. It's 323 BC. Alexander the Great, who over the past decade had conquered an empire spanning Persia, Egypt, Central Asia and India, has fallen ill in Babylon and died at just 32. His death left a void filled with chaos, ambition and rivalry among his generals. Without a clear successor, the vast empire he built was destined to fracture into competing successor states, the so-called diadochi. Among these successors, a Macedonian general named Ptolemy, originally a trusted companion of Alexander, saw an opportunity not just to survive, but to thrive. As the empire dissolved into civil wars, Ptolemy established his own domain in Egypt, transforming from a general into a ruler. His strategic move to declare himself pharaoh and carve out a personal dynasty that would endure for nearly 300 years. This figure, often called King Ptolemy I in popular retellings, was most likely born around 367 BC in Macedon, the northern Greek kingdom, on the brink of becoming a major power. His origins were humble, son of a Macedonian named Lagos, possibly of modest, noble lineage, or perhaps the illegitimate child of King Philip II himself, according to some legendary traditions. Whether true or a later invention to justify his royal claims, this narrative underscores Ptolemy's desire to elevate his status from Macedonian noble to divine ruler. Early life and Macedonian upbringing. Growing up amidst the turbulence of Macedon's rise, Ptolemy would have learned to ride, hunt, and fight, skills essential for a Macedonian boy destined for military service. Sent to the court of King Philip II as a royal page around 353 BC, he immersed himself in the political and military environment that would shape his future ambitions. Macedon at this time was emerging as a formidable power under Philip II's leadership, who revolutionized warfare with his professional army and innovative tactics. Macedonian cavalry, especially the elite companion units, soon became feared across Greece. Ptolemy, witnessing these military innovations firsthand, likely served in Philip's campaigns, gaining invaluable battlefield experience. By the time Alexander was born in 356 BC, Ptolemy was in his early teens, possibly close to Alexander's circle. As Philip hired Aristotle as a tutor for the young prince, Ptolemy's education would have included Greek philosophy, military strategy, and governance. This environment, combining Macedonian martial prowess with Greek cultural influence, would serve as the foundation for Ptolemy's later endeavours. The Macedonian conquest and Alexander's campaigns. Ptolemy rose through the ranks during Philip's campaigns, witnessing the Macedonian victory at the Battle of Cheronea in 338 BC, where Macedon decisively defeated the Greek city-states. He was a young officer at the time, possibly fighting alongside Alexander, then a teenage prince. After Philip's assassination in 336 BC, Alexander ascended the throne, and Ptolemy remained a trusted advisor. During Alexander's legendary campaigns, his conquest of Persia, battles at Granicus, Issus and Gaugamela, Ptolemy served as a military officer and chronicler. Though less celebrated than Alexander himself, Ptolemy's role in these campaigns laid the groundwork for his future leadership. He witnessed firsthand the brutal sieges, swift cavalry charges, and complex diplomacy that defined Alexander's empire. His detailed accounts, although mostly lost to history, suggest that he was deeply involved in the logistics and strategic planning of these campaigns. The death of Alexander and the fragmentation of empire. The death of Alexander in 323 BC plunged his empire into chaos. Ptolemy, then in his mid-40s, found himself at a crossroads. The vast territories, Greece, Egypt, Persia, and parts of Central Asia, were now up for grabs. The empire's unity was fragile, with rival generals vying for dominance. In the ensuing power struggles, Ptolemy's keen political instincts emerged. Recognizing Egypt's strategic importance, its wealth, its location at the crossroads of Africa and the Near East, he sought to establish a foothold there. His move was audacious. He seized Alexander's body from Damascus, claiming it as a symbol of legitimacy and divine right. This act was not merely a theft, but a calculated political act designed to bolster his claim as Alexander's true successor. By claiming to be Alexander's illegitimate half-brother, an assertion likely fabricated, Ptolemy sought to elevate his status among the successor generals. His cunning was evident. He understood that the true power lay not just in military might, but in religious symbolism and control of key cultural centers. The founding of Egypt's Ptolemaic Dynasty. In 320 BC, Ptolemy declared himself king of Egypt. His rule marked the birth of the Ptolemaic Dynasty, a Hellenistic kingdom blending Greek and Egyptian traditions. He established Alexandria as a new capital, transforming it into a cosmopolitan hub of commerce, culture, and learning. He promoted Egyptian religious practices alongside Greek traditions, recognizing the importance of local customs to legitimize his rule. The famous Lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, was constructed under his reign, symbolizing Egypt's maritime power and cultural grandeur. The city became a beacon of knowledge, eventually home to the legendary Library of Alexandria. Ptolemy's rule was not merely about military conquest, he also fostered cultural and scientific development. He commissioned the great mathematician Euclid to produce foundational works in geometry, laying the intellectual groundwork for generations, political strategies and military campaigns. Despite his focus on culture, Ptolemy was a formidable military strategist. He fought off rival successor generals, Antigonus, Demetrius, Lysimachus, and expanded his territories. His campaigns took him across the eastern Mediterranean, including Cyprus, Syria, and parts of Asia Minor. He skillfully navigated the complex successor wars, balancing alliances and rivalries. His marriages to Persian noblewomen, such as Artakama, were political acts designed to secure loyalty and legitimacy in the diverse regions he controlled. One of his most notable military feats was defending Egypt from invasion by Antigonus, a powerful rival seeking to dominate the successor states. He also challenged Greek city-states, like Corinth, aiming to unify the fragmented remnants of Alexander's empire under his banner. The legacy of Ptolemy I. By the time of his death in 283 BC, at over 80 years old, Ptolemy had solidified Egypt as a prosperous, stable, and culturally vibrant kingdom. His policies of blending Greek and Egyptian traditions created a unique Hellenistic civilization that endured for centuries. His successors, notably his son Ptolemy II, continued to expand and develop the kingdom. The Ptolemaic dynasty preserved the empire's stability until the Roman conquest in 30 BC, when Cleopatra VII's reign marked the end of the Hellenistic era. Was Ptolemy I a true successor or a self-made ruler? Historians debate Ptolemy's legitimacy. Was he a visionary founder who laid the groundwork for Egypt's golden age? Or was he an opportunist who manipulated history and myth to justify his rule? His claims to be Alexander's half-brother and his theft of Alexander's remains were strategic moves to legitimize his authority. While he may have exaggerated his role in Alexander's campaigns, there's no denying that Ptolemy was a master of political survival. His ability to forge a new empire from the chaos of Alexander's death, blending military prowess with cultural patronage, underscores his effectiveness as a leader, a legacy of ambition and stability. Ptolemy I's story is one of resilience, cunning, and vision. Rising from modest origins, he navigated the treacherous waters of successor wars to establish a dynasty that would shape Egypt's history for nearly 3 centuries. His combination of military skill, political acumen, and cultural patronage transformed Egypt into a vibrant center of Hellenistic civilization. Was Ptolemy a mere survivor, or was he an architect of a new world order? Perhaps both. His legacy invites us to reflect on how individual ambition, when paired with strategic vision, can leave an indelible mark on history.